From this image, you can depict what is happening. See what is happening and what the conditions, qualities and the condition is known. Either that fundamental originated position of nothingness, zeroness, or shivatva, knowing its own form, can stay into its own nothingness and do not allow its own intelligence or light to pass through, becoming the black hole singularity, or observed, we are being observed as black hole singularity is nothing else but the zeroness form of that God, that fundamental God, that Shiva, or that fundamental consciousness or intelligence allow its own stable condition of that zero to transform into knowing self, and knowing that self allow that its own light to transform. From that light of transform, from zeroness, dimensions of zero, we come to the dimension of knowing. From that knowing, thyself uh, becomes the fundamental dimension of unity, or the first dimension of existence. From first dimension of existence, the first observation transform from the condition of unity, that whatever that may be. Thus, the condition of duality occurs. From this duality, there can be the waveforms or the time cycles of universes, in which infinite universes, or can be formed in, and in that universes infinite entities, events, cycles can be formed. Now through this slide you can see uh, what would be the position of that fundamental observation. Here the white part which we are seeing, differentiating a pi line is differentiating the fundamental nothingness and the fundamental absolute unity. This absolute unity is shown as the part of light, as the part of knowing, as the part of that consciousness, and which is shown by his own self, his own will. And if there is no other observer, and no then or anything else, then the first fundamental transformation would be his own vision. That first vision would be the first drishti, or the first observation. That first observation would be, where would that position be? That position, if we create the condition, we realize, and if we put a graph, and we realize that the total observational plane could be, at maximum can be 360 degrees. Either it can be 0, it can be 1, or from 1 there could arise a duality in, or the second dimension. Thus the second dimension itself creates a line between the first dimension and the second dimension. Therefore the angle reaches the 180 degrees, or the straight line, or the fundamental line of existence. Or this is also the position of line. It is being taught that line is a never ending line. ठीक है, never ending positions where A and B positions are infinitely apart and it never ends. This is the fundamental position of that line. Now, being the absolute truth, being God, and being smaller entities in that observation into the universe, may come to the conclusion that you are not God, you are not truth, or whatever. I am the smaller entities being into human or whatever form of existence, would neglect you and your existence of being God. I myself become the egoistic part, and I myself know myself as my name and human body, and I am maybe the God, or that another form, or that another tree is God, not you and me, or that another mountain is God, or something fundamental existent of that could be praised, or that another how many forms God is being praised, or by people or known by people, nobody knows. Everybody knows there are so many different forms in which God is prayed. So, or whatever knowledge is being be known may not be the truth. So we rise to the condition of logical truth. So if we put the truth table or the position of the truth. Either unity is truth, or the difference or the transformation of that unity is truth. The transformation of that unity is the fundamental position of the observation. In between there arise now the angle of 90 degree. Now once again we may ask, uh, from this pi dimension, from this second dimension, that the fundamental observer, being you and me, that this may not be the truth. So we again create a resultant position. This resultant position where would be where? It would be now from 90 degrees, the resultant would be 45. If we apply force in the two direction, if we apply the logical reasoning, logical intelligence, and the logical resultant of all the intelligence and all the information that could ever exist into the existence, the resultant force and direction and light would be in where? 45-degree direction, into the nothingness. And 45 relative to where? 45 relative to the second dimension or the pi dimension, or into the nothingness, from the absolute sun or the absolute white hole singularity into the black hole singularity. So in other words, we can say that the where would be the position of third dimension? The position of third dimension would be between the position of father and mother. Thus, the position of third dimension or the sun would be 45 degrees. Getting the point? Or this is also the absolute position of our sun, or whatever sun that could the fundamental suns that ever exist. Okay. Now this, why this is now sine 45, tan 45 is unity again. Therefore, if we observe the tan theta, if we allow all the observation into being that tan theta would again give us the unity result, means the truth table. So between 90 degrees of being nothingness, or Maya or Mahakali, or our fundamental mother Maha Jagdamba, into Ardhanareshwar, in between Shiva and Shakti, the third dimension would be at the 45 degrees into the womb of that mother, into the nothingness, being sun, being the first creation. So thus the third dimension from the origin, before the origin, is the first dimension or the first position of our creation. Therefore, the universe is made on Sunday, not on any other day. Getting the point? This is the fundamental reason why it is being told that the universe was created and on the first day, and it was Sunday. And if you know it's been other than Sunday, you have been falsified through your religious whatever communities or it is. So this is the reason the universe starts from Sunday, because sun is formed as the third dimension of the existence from the origin, as the first dimension of the creation, observable creation. Getting the point? From this sun, the resultant dimension, again we can ask, this may be true or this can be false. So again 40 from these, because it is zeroness, the 90 degrees and the time dimension from the 90 degrees observational position, and the time dimension at 90 degrees, things again can be evaluated. Another the area can be swept, another pi area can be swept into zeroness, another motion can be swept, another intelligence can sweep, create and know its own self. So this cycle can go on in the curvature of cone if we stay stable at the second dimension, or the fundamental observer stays still. Into the duality, the universe would appear as cyclic in form of cone, that which we are also and always observing in the form of suns and planets oscillating. Moving far gives the vision and drishti to become smaller, far, therefore smaller, therefore conical shape. Okay, or shank, which we call cone another. ठीक है? then then realizing all the intelligences, all the truth that can ever occur, sweeping all the area that can ever be swept, creating all the creations that could ever be created into transforming by transforming all the into all the transformed that could ever be transformed, and realizing all the truth and false in between the truth and false at the 45 degrees of tan theta conditioning, the logical truth to that logical truth, all the truth can be known. So this is the time cycle, this is the cycle of Yuga, this is the cycle of Kal Chakra. So when everything is known, every particle attains once again attains the fundamental speed, the universe again collapses into a zeroness, nothingness, or when it is observed from the future observational universe, we would be observing a black hole singularity. Thus, a black hole singularity, fundamental position of the black hole singularity, it is the position which is observed can only be observed from the future observational universe. Thus, in relative to this, a fundamental white hole singularity would be a position where everything is known, everything is being evaluated, and all the dimension has been created and comes towards one again in the form of light. Thus, white hole singularity, the position of white hole singularity can only be observed from a universe, existential universe, which is in present or before, which exists before the uh, white hole singularity. Thus, white hole singularity is a futuristic position from our present, and black hole singularity is the uh, fundamental past position of our universe.